So I come now to blended learning Mark II. If we're in an institution like USQ or the Open University of Hong Kong, we've already got good materials, highly refined materials to support students. And we can add the live classroom. But as soon as we do that, we start changing the economic formula again. And we lose a bit of flexibility. But we don't lose all of our flexibility, because we're not going to teach the course fully in face-to-face mode and teach it in a distance or online mode fully. We've still got a bit of a problem with institutional variable costs and, in general, fixed costs, because we need to build new lecture theatres like this. And I'm sure there would be a debate about this institution building such a wonderful theatre. But it's good for conferences. It's great for that. So I move on now and look at how we can start shifting the balance between asynchronous and synchronous delivery. So if we assume that we're going to develop a policy on blended learning, we want to have a cost-effective, economically sustainable model. And of course, one of the ways that we can do that is webcasting the live classroom. We can increase flexibility. If we do, as we're doing here, the recording and the like, we can have that simultaneously put up on the web. If people haven't got access to it, then they can download it. So they're not really missing the opportunity. And a lot of interaction in lectures is minimal. We talk about face-to-face interactivity, but like this morning, it's primarily one way. So we've got an issue here of how do we combine, how can we make a thoughtful integration of face-to-face and online. So if we webcast, then we're starting to get the benefits of institutional variable costs. So we can combine cohorts. We can satisfy student preferences, those that want to come on campus who are nearby. We can make the benefit of the time put into the lecturing and the preparation by webcasting it, putting it up on a website and the like. So I'd like to move now on how do we do this effectively and what are some of the challenges and the tools that we need to do it. So this thoughtful integration offers what I've referred to as Garrison and Kanuka made the point of virtually limitless design possibilities. It's applicable to many different disciplines, many different contexts, but it does need some thought and it does need some research. So if we think about the variables that would influence the pedagogical efficacy, the effectiveness compared to the economic sustainability of blended learning, then we've got to think about the academic discipline, whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate. And in 1997, which seems like another generation ago, USQ offered the first purely online course. And that was at the postgraduate level. It worked really well, it's still working well, and it satisfies some students. So while I'm promoting blended learning, I'm not demanding blended learning. I think we have a continuum of pure face-to-face to pure online, and blended learning is an astute mixture of the two, which appeals to certain students and in certain disciplines. So how do we go about finding the right blend? And I make the point that we have numerous varieties of blended learning, just like tea, this site here. I mean, to satisfy individuals with different backgrounds and different contexts, we need a whole range of pedagogical models and blended learning models. So what is required now is more research, development, and innovation. And I think Peter Drucker made the point in 1991 that as technology emerges, we've got to find ways of increasing the productivity of knowledge and service workers. People who work in schools, people who work in universities, we've got to find ways of using the technology that will increase their productivity. So what we've done at USQ, I want to talk a bit about some of the programs, is to create a commitment, a resource allocation for the Australian Digital Futures Institute, so we can do the research, we can trial the models, we can help our staff move forward with blended learning and other forms of online delivery. So we have a software research and development lab and a technology-enhanced learning laboratory. The general context of our work is in the emerging technologies. And I know we talk a lot about Web 2 at the moment. We're thinking about Web 3 and thinking, what will be the next phase, because the internet and online delivery has moved so rapidly over the last 5 to 10 years that it's not going to stay the same. So I think, in general, we've got a view about the web being critical, how we use it, and what is the consumer context, what's happening with Web 2, what would Web 3 look like. And what we've done to embed it in the university is to address the USQ research agenda as well as the learning and teaching agenda. It hasn't been set up just as a research centre in a traditional way. What we're aiming to do is address the institutional strategies through the work of the Digital Futures Institute, so that we work on learning futures. Sustainability is another theme of our research centres, and we have a concentration of our effort in engineering innovation, healthy communities, the health applications of the internet. So they're thematic initiatives, and we in the Digital Futures Institute work with each of the research centres. We also work with the learning and teaching agenda, which is in the centre of the slide. So that's a major focus for us, and we try and build global dimensions by networking with other institutions and other research centres. At the base there, I've put a comment about an academic work environment, which is our OUHK project, as we call it, sort of shock and awe. And what we're trying to do is to create an open platform where teachers and learners can do their learning and teaching, but also do their e-research. So we're trying to have a single platform, instead of people having to learn different software applications and so on, that they just have a day-to-day desktop where they can do their research, they communicate, they work in an environment that's adaptable to them.